motherfucker, you can't have my cornbread. That's for damn sure. Because if you try to take my cornbread, part 2 of my killing spree gonna begin up in here on your ass right now. If you think about my cornbread, get the taste out your mouth. That's for damn sure. Now fuck him, fuck that, because I'm from New York City, goddammit. Nobody take no cornbread from me. That goes for you and any other you motherfucking farmers wanna try some shit. You fuck around with me, it's gonna be consequences and repercussions.
Haters gonna hate.
What's happening? What's happening? Welcome to another episode of the Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. Maestro Style and Trey, Fraser here in the house, y'all.
Yeah.
Shout out to all of our Facebook Live users right now. We're on Facebook Live. Make sure y'all tune in and click the like button on the Facebook page. Also, you can follow us on social media at Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast on Instagram, at Barbershop SPOR2 on Twitter, and you can also follow us on the YouTube channel. Another week in the books, man. What's good, Maestro?
What's happening, man? Congrats to Russell Westbrook, man. We gotta get straight to it, man. We got
for the third straight week, right?
For the third straight fucking week, man. We gotta give him his flowers right now. While he broke Oscar Robertson's triple-double record, 182. And look, man, congratulations, man, to the young legend, Hall of Famer right now.
First ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah.
First ballot, for real.
Yeah, I see people putting him in the top 5 now. I see sports pundits putting him in the top 5 now.
Yeah. He deserves his gardens, no question about it. Man, if he keeps this up though, and Oscar Robertson's record was hard to break over the last 40-something years. Westbrook keeps doing this, and he's 32 years old, and he could play another good 3-4 years. At least he stays healthy. Yeah, as long as he can stay healthy, he could continue to do this. Because on average, he's getting 30 triple doubles a season or something crazy like that. I don't know what the exact number is.
Something crazy like that.
But he could get 120 more triple doubles in his career, and that would put him well over 230 at this point. Because I think the record was 180 something. I think so. Yeah, that could put him right in the 220, 230 range, and that's going to be hard to break for about the next 40 something years.
Yep. Especially I think it was Shannon Sharp was saying, he was talking about how, triple doubles ain't really like a glorified stat no more. Like, people like, Draymond Greens and, like lower, not the highest caliber players, the superstars is the word I was looking for. Non-superstars are getting triple doubles, and he was talking about how it's not like such an appealing stat to have nowadays in today's game. But, hey, I tell you what, ain't nobody going to be able to, and, now I'm sitting here thinking about it, maybe that's some of the reason why people don't want to give Russell Westbrook his flowers, because the triple-double isn't like such a, achievement to people anymore. Maybe that's it, but...
he's shattering the numbers, though. And I get it. Nikola Jokic has 20 triple doubles this season, and there's a couple other guys whose names I'm escaping, but their numbers don't come close to what.
But I think that's why you got to give him his flowers right now, while he's passing his record, because he's not just getting, one here, one there. This is like his 30th this year or something crazy like that. So, it's like you gotta give credit to a dude that's averaging a triple double.
Right.
That's something different. It's not
And
many
not just
people
that. And not just that. He's had multiple 2020 games, if I'm not mistaken. I know we had the 2020 game a few years ago, but he's also
when
had,
Nipsey passed.
Right, and he had a 2020 game earlier this year. So he's getting multiple games where he's eclipsing those numbers.
I mean, this
you don't
Bama
see
had
anybody else doing that.
Yeah, because he had 18 rebounds. He had 24 assists last week. Like I said, man, he doing something else. He doing something else. Need his flowers now. He is a top 5 point guard, like we've been saying for a couple of weeks now since he expressed his issue with not being regarded as one of the best in the game. Point guard, top 5 all time. The argument is over. He officially shut that argument down. He is a top 5 point guard of all time. So
future first round ballot Hall of Famer.
Congrats to him. They lost last night or 2 nights ago to Toronto for him missing a jumper that could have won the game. But Bradley Beal, who has been injured his ACL. He's been out. Did you hear about his little Twitter beef with Kent Bazemore?
I saw it. I didn't dig deeper into it. What's that about?
I mean, it ain't much to it. The boy Kent Bazemore, who's playing with the Warriors, he was talking a little trash. He talking Steph obviously scored what was it? He scored 49 points in 29 minutes or something.
Yeah,
49 and 29, something crazy like that. So Kent Bazemore went on Twitter and was like, he doing that. Meanwhile, Bama's is hurting their ACLs trying to keep up with him. So obviously that was a little shot at Brad Beal, whatever. Brad Beal took that personal. Was like, Slim, don't say nothing to me. Don't say nothing. Don't say my name. You don't know me. Nothing. Like, don't say my name. You don't know me. And for all intents and purposes, it ain't no real issue. Kent Bazemore replied I was just joking. And Bradley Beal was on First Take today, basically saying, all right, you said you was playing, but I don't play like that. Stop playing with me. And I don't think it's a real big thing, but don't talk about me. Don't say my name. Like Bradley Beal said, don't say my name unless you know me. Well, we got that kind of rapport. Don't say my name. Don't subtweet me. Don't do nothing. Don't throw shade. No little shady sub shots. Don't do none of that to me because you don't know me. Because if I pull up and it's a problem, then what?
Yeah, and not that this is related to the little beef they was having, or whatever you want to call that, but Bradley Beal and Steph, if I'm not mistaken, they're the top 2 leading scorers on average up to this point in the season. Am I correct about that?
Yeah, that's what the whole argument is about. That's what the tweet was about. He was saying Steph Curry is
was related to
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's directly substitute. Yeah. He was talking about Bradley Beal because Bradley Beal just tore his ACL, or injured his ACL. I don't know if he tore it, but he just hurt his ACL, and he's the number 2 scorer. So basically, you try and keep up with my man's, and you didn't tore your ACL trying to keep up with my man's. And let's be clear, Kent Bazemore it wasn't so much that he was. Let me say, I don't think his intent was to shit on Bradley Beal. It was more to big up how well Steph Curry was playing. I mean, because we know what Steph Curry doing right now. I mean, we all the ESPN talkers about how the Warriors are about to get the Lakers up out of here in a playing game. So we know what Steph Curry is doing. I mean, Steph Curry is a top 5 MVP candidate. All that conversation. So I don't think Kent Bazemore's intent was to shit on Bradley Beal, but he kind of made Bradley Beal the butt of the joke, giving shine to Steph Curry. And and if you Brad Bill, it's like, nah, don't play with me like that because you don't know me. Like that's not even like yeah, what Steph Curry is doing is amazing, but don't sit here and shit on me like I'm not there. Like nah, don't make me the butt of the joke. And then Bradley Bill went on to say on First Take he also felt a way about it because when he was coming into the league and in college, he was scouted as a injury prone player. So, he said he was a little triggered about that or whatever. But I mean, I don't think there's no real issue. But I feel Bradley Beal, don't play with me. You don't know if you don't know me, don't play with me.
Well, two things. Bradley Beal actually hurt his hamstring.
Hamstring. Okay, I'm sorry.
So it's not like he's. I mean, not that you could. I mean, you could still hurt your ACL and still come back, but not that he's out for the season or anything like that. Bradley Beal can come back, before this whole play-in situation takes place. And number two, they've been talking about the Warriors going up against the Lakers and stuff. They would beat the Lakers in that play-in game, but then the Lakers would have to play the winner of that 9-10 and still have to get the 8th spot in the other bracket. So just for clarity there, the Lakers wouldn't be completely out of the playoff picture at that point. But that'll be an interesting game though, if that's the matchup.
Well, the Lakers against
Lakers and the Warriors, yeah. That's certainly an interesting game. I know LeBron is to come back for the Rockets game on Thursday. I thought he was going to come back against the Knicks tonight, but I guess he don't want to. I guess he don't want the smoke, but
yeah, that's the reason he's trying to avoid playing against Julius Randle.
He's trying to avoid the number one defense in the league. So I
got you. That's
what the greatest player in it.
That's what the greatest player. That's what the greatest player in the league is doing, trying to avoid the Knicks. I feel you.
That's strategy right there.
Okay.
Play the Rockets. They no good. Like, yeah, I would want to come back and play the Rockets too.
You don't really think that, do you? That he's sitting out because he's scared to play the Knicks?
I don't. I'm just
okay. I just wanted to be sure because you be saying some wild shit. So I just wanted to make sure that you were being facetious.
I'm just joking. I'm just
okay.
Playing,
I just had to be clear.
But if that were the case, hell yeah, I want to play the Rockets. The Rockets aren't going anywhere. They've mailed it in. The easy team for me to come back and get my feet wet and get ready for the playoffs. I'm not mad at that. Not mad at that at all, man. Hey, so just a little NFL talk for a minute. So Tim Tebow is back in the NFL via Urban Meyer, coach of the Jaguars. 1-year deal. And actually they cut. It was either they cut the third tight end or they traded him to the Ravens and made this spot just for Tim Tebow for the tight end position. So there's a lot of thoughts about this. I got some thoughts on this too, man. Because kind of going back to when he was with Denver and, he beat the Steelers and then, Peyton Manning replaced him, rightfully so. He bounced around the league a little bit. And then after that, it was he wanted to play baseball. He played in the minor league for a little bit. And then he's on TV. He's, commentating on college football. And here comes Urban Meyer in the NFL. Give him an opportunity to play in the NFL again. There's so many angles to this. Like niggas was saying that he could have been played the position of tight end years ago, but just refused to, succumb to that reality that he wasn't a quarterback, that he wanted to play the position. And now it's years later and, oh, wow, my old college coach is in the NFL. And now I get another opportunity to just come in, get a deal and work out with the team and all that stuff. And meanwhile, you got cats coming out of college that, put the work in, to try to even make a roster. And these guys aren't getting this opportunity because Tim Tebow took a spot. Now, from this other perspective, right? Looking at it from the team.
And by the way, I don't feel sorry for those. By the way, I don't feel sorry for those younger players who had an opportunity to play on a football team.
I respect that. I respect that. But I think it does. I think it does paint a picture that a person that works was trying to work just as hard to get in the league, and now you're being replaced with a guy who has been out of football for so many years and is getting this position because of white privilege. And yes,
let me stop you. Let me, because I knew that was coming. Mm-hmm. And does white privilege have something to do with it? I mean, sure, you could find it. I think the bigger thing is when your mans get in position, you help your mans out. Don't that make sense? Mm-hmm. Like that makes more sense to me than just jump into the whole race thing. Which, like I said, and me, and I can find racism in anywhere. I can, in damn near any situation, I can find somewhere where there was a glimmer of racism somewhere. This is more of the whole. This is a version of the whole. If we all in the same frat, and I come up and I can go find my frat brother and be like, "Hey, man, I got this situation. I need some help," and this is that whole Florida relationship thing. Obviously, this is, hey, man, I'm about to be down in Jacksonville. Hey, you still want to play? Or or vice versa, Tim Tebow recognizing who Urban Meyer was. Hey, you about to be in Jacksonville? Ooh, let me get a job. Obviously at this stage in 2021, when he was at the height of his career in 2012, he's not going to get a quarterback spot where he's going to get to actually play on the field, at least. So it's like, all right, well, how about if I do this? I can get you on. I can get you on as a tight end. Whoop, whoop, whoop. That's just somebody knowing somebody and being able, just so happens that it's football. I mean, when you know somebody, you want to look out for your peoples. That's all. I mean, that's all it is at the end of the day. I would hate to, make this a bigger thing than it is.
It's no different.
Yeah, it's
no
really just that.
Yeah. It's no different than somebody comes in the front office as a GM and they've worked with a coach in the past and they bring the coach on, and the coach might be a retread, but hey, he knows the guy, he's familiar with him, they have a rapport together, so yeah, come on board. Yeah, I
Mike Tomlin is guilty of it in some respects. Mike Tomlin has a habit of Mike Vick is the prime example. Hey man, Virginia connects. Whoop whoop whoop. Hey man, you need a job? All right, we need a spot. Could we go get somebody who's younger and who's a higher ceiling? Sure, but you my mans, we got that whole Virginia connect. Come on through, play a season. Come on, get a little bit of money with us. It's that same kind of thing.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I'm not saying that's not true. I think several things could be true at the same time with this, but I was going to bring up the point about the Jacksonville Jaguars' perspective in that I think they like this. I think they like the news of Tim Tebow being back in the NFL because everybody's talking about it. This is probably the most attention that the Jaguars have gotten since their inception in '95. So of course, bring on a guy who's the spotlight,
the whole Florida thing. I mean, and we know Tim Tebow's not, or let me say, we don't expect Tim Tebow to come into the league this year and catch 35 balls. You know what I'm saying? We don't expect that. We expect him to be media. He might play. He might do some blocking. PR. Yeah, it's PR. Thank you. That's that. In short, that's what
It's
it is.
PR.
It's PR. It's like, all right,
They
something to get
they
excited
love
about
this.
it. Y'all remember? It's nostalgic PR. Even like you remember Slim from back in the day. Yeah, well, he coming over here now. And then back then there was when he was getting drafted, whatever year he was drafted. There was like, ooh, what if Tim Tebow can come to Jacksonville? There was a conversation about, ooh, what if he gets here? So
Yep.
look. Hey man,
But even when he
Jacksonville.
was with the Broncos, there was
Yeah.
always this aura about Tim Tebow every game he played. Like there was always this thing like, oh, what's Tim Tebow gonna do in the fourth quarter? Oh, how's Tim now?
Well,
And
those
even
days are
when he
over. I'm
got
not talking
to
about that.
I know, but I'm just making a point that everywhere Tim Tebow's been in the NFL, he's always been this hot button topic, regardless of his play. He's always been this high topic of discussion. Skip Bayless, creams over the guy, every chance he gets. So people on TV, they're gonna talk about this guy, and most of it is just not even about the ability of him playing quarterback. It's just the fact he's Tim Tebow. And there seems
Well,
to
no,
be
I
this
disagree.
thing about Tim
Back
Tebow.
then, back then, it was about his football play. Back then, because they thought that they were hoping that he was going to eventually turn the corner and be the guy he was in Florida in college. So they watched it like that because he talks to the media. He's an easy interview with the media, and they were hoping that they was going to be able to get them some of that college Tim Tebow to translate into the NFL, and it just never did. For whatever reason. Now it's a sheer PR move because I don't even know who's on the tight end depth chart for the Jaguars, but I'm willing to bet money that Tim Tebow is not going to start. If he starts, I would be extremely surprised, and and I don't think he.
Is it
I
even a
just don't believe
guarantee
he
that
do
he
well.
makes the team?
Right, that's
If
not
he makes
a
the
guarantee.
53-man roster.
I think Urban Meyer would do him, but I do think Urban Meyer would do him that solid. I ain't gonna hold you. I think he would do him that solid. Because it's good PR
if I had to put
throughout.
money on that,
It's good PR
agree.
through the season. It's good PR through the season. You got somebody who knows how to deal with the media. Trevor Lawrence, obviously being their new cash cow. Their new attraction. It's a reason It's a reason right now
excited.
before they start winning games. It's a reason to have the NFL decide, ooh, so maybe we should get some Jaguar games on national television this year. It's a reason for that because maybe we can see Tim Tebow return to the glory days. He might even throw a jump pass like he did. It's so I would not be surprised if the Jacksonville Jaguars got a Thursday, a Sunday night, or a Monday night game.
That schedule gets released tomorrow, by the way. So
okay.
That
I wouldn't be surprised if they got one of those primetime games this year off the strength of Tim Tebow possibly making his team, and also including Trevor Lawrence, but namely the PR show that comes with Tim Tebow and what they might do. I can see it 100%. Devin Bush, linebacker for the Steelers, came out and saying, basically like, I don't know what's going on here, but we can't wait to see because we got Jacksonville this year.
Okay.
So, or he said can't wait to play Jacksonville. I don't know if that means we got Jacksonville this year, but because now I'm thinking about it, we definitely don't have Jacksonville this year.
I was about to say, I'm like, wait a minute, because we just played the South, right?
Yeah. Well, I didn't think about it that far. I thought about. I just saw his tweet saying, "Can't wait to play Jacksonville." So now that I'm saying it out loud, like, nah, they don't even play Jacksonville this year. But he just has an issue with Tim Tebow making a roster at his advanced age. And now you're asking him to learn tight end, which. It's not like we're talking about the young, athletic Tim Tebow that we was talking about when he was trying to learn how to play quarterback. I would imagine that any linebacker that that's young and a good young linebacker, looking at Tim Tebow across on the other side of the field is like, oh, that's lunch. He ain't eating over here.
Yeah.
We eating if I gotta go against Tim Tebow, because at this point the only thing we talk about he might have at this point is old man strength. And
and I understand the criticism. No, I really do. I mean, I understand both sides of it. I understand the PR side of it. And I heard somebody on TV today say that there's coaches in the Jacksonville team that disapprove
that don't like it. Yeah,
that don't like it. And I could kind of understand that part too from the coaching part of it.
How old is Tim Tebow?
Yeah. And when's the last time he's played football? Like the dude was on the Mets minor league team for a few years, just a few years ago. Like come on. He hasn't been fit for this. He's not fit for this.
I'll say this. I will humbly eat pie if I'm wrong. I don't think I'm wrong. And secondly, look, man, and I said it last week. If any football team, I don't like the Ravens. If the Ravens called me and said, "Hey, man, you want to play tight end?" and there's a check attached to it, I'm gonna go play.
It's for the money. It's for the money.
You just gonna see me ducking my head when I think I'm about to catch a hit, and I'm trash. Let's be very clear. If anybody ever wondered, I'm fat, out of shape, trash. Never been a great catcher. They put me at tight end. Never been a great catcher. So let a football team call me and be like, "Hey, let a football team call me and say, "Hey, we got 10,000 for you." And that's not the minimum. The minimum is like $350, something crazy. But let them say we got a bag for you to run around in training camp or whatever the hell.
Be the water boy for $10,000.
I'd be there. I'd be there.
Be the damn equipment manager.
Yeah, man, I'd be there, bro. So I mean, who am I to hate on Tim Tebow for knowing somebody who would give him a shot? I ain't nobody to do that. The other part of this Tim Tebow conversation is the whole the Colin Kaepernick outrage has sparked again.
I saw that.
Yeah. Look. I don't know what y'all.
Look. It's okay. It's okay to, and I'm not talking to you per se. I'm just speaking in general here
because I'm not outraged.
It's okay. It's okay to identify the differences between these two situations, right? We know what Colin Kaepernick stood for, and you and we're lockstep with Colin Kaepernick and what he did, bringing awareness and how he did it. We're lockstep with that. It's just a different situation than bringing in Tim Tebow. It's just different. Whether you want to look at what Colin Kaepernick stood for, whether you want to look at the financial pieces to what Colin Kaepernick did versus what Tim Tebow is doing, bringing attention to Jacksonville in sort of a positive way. It's just different. I'm sorry, for people that want to, they want to make the comparison and say, well, Kaepernick hasn't played for such and such years, and Tebow hasn't played for such and such years, and yet Tim Tebow comes off the street and whop, he's got a 1-year deal. And it's like, yeah. And you explained it earlier. When people, gravitate to you and they want to hook you up. They want to make sure you're good. And this is exactly what happened. I don't know that Colin Kaepernick has that kind of support. And I'm not talking players. We know he has supported the players. I'm talking about coaches. I'm talking about general managers. And hell, ownership. There's no support for Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah.
When you get to that level of hierarchy, there's no support for that.
Well, here's where I'll kind of disagree with you, just kind of. And you're right, he doesn't have that support system. He don't know an Urban Meyer that's going to look at him. It's not like his coach from college or, whoever. Right. I don't remember who the coach was when he was doing this thing for San Fran, but It's not like that
Harbaugh.
guy is in a situation. Yeah, it's not like that guy Harbaugh. Thank you. It's not like that guy is in a position to give him a job on an NFL team. I will say, I will disagree in the fact that if they can pick, if we're just talking about football, if they can pick up Tim Tebow, they could pick up Colin Kaepernick and make him a third quarterback, third string quarterback, second string quarterback. They can they can do that. It's just the fact that, like I said, they know somebody. Tim Tebow knows Urban Meyer, and Colin Kaepernick don't know nobody that could be like, all right, we'll take a shot on you. We'll, let me talk to my people. Let me talk to upper management, but I can get you a roster location. And then, if you asking me who looks, based on what we've seen, who looks more ready for the NFL, I would have to say at this point, Colin Kaepernick looks more ready for the NFL right now than Tim Tebow does.
By a lot.
Just based on what we've seen. And it's only based on what we've seen. We just haven't seen what Tebow workout look like. We've seen over the past 3 years or 3 years ago what Colin Kaepernick looked like throwing the football, and he took the steps publicly to
he kind of seen it. What was it, last year or the year before, where he had to work out in Atlanta?
Yeah, that's what I'm referring to.
Seen that more weeks. Yeah,
that's what I'm referring to.
More recently.
Yeah. So we've seen him work out and look good working out. We just haven't seen Tim Tebow. So if we're being honest, we don't even know that Tim Tebow, what kind of shape he's in. I just know that I've seen Colin Kaepernick, and at least 2 or 3 years ago, look like he can play. At least he could be a second string, third string quarterback on an NFL team, and at best he can be a starter for a team that just needs something. I disagree that this is not totally different. I think the major difference is that he knew somebody and Colin Kaepernick didn't. Obviously you could talk about what comes with when you put him on the roster, but that could be as simple as a conversation and waiting three weeks for it to just hype to boil over. You know what I'm saying? At this stage of Colin Kaepernick's life, and I don't know where he is. Yeah,
because there will definitely be hype. Yeah,
there would be hype. There would be a bigger hype for Colin Kaepernick than there is for Tim Tebow. There will definitely be hype. But that's easy. I got a job for you, but you just gotta chill. You just gotta chill, bro. I need you to chill if you want this job. And if he say, yeah, okay, I really want to play, so I'ma chill because I really want a roster spot, then there you go. So it is different, but I don't think it's such a difference where people don't have a right to be outraged. I'm just not outraged because, in my understanding, how I'm taking it, Colin Kaepernick was the sacrificial lamb for all this brown nose the NFL has been doing for black people and for black people's cause. All this stuff all this Black Lives Matter on the field and the decals, and I get that also pandering came on the heels. I get it also. I won't call it pandering, but I'll say that they are making gestures to help make their black patrons feel better. That started. Sure, that's not what I do. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. I'm just saying that it started with Colin Kaepernick saying, "Hey, this is a problem." You know what I'm saying? So we know what that comes with. Actually, if you're really thinking about it, if the NFL really wanted to pander to black folks, they'd be giving Colin Kaepernick a job because he is the pioneer of all the small gestures that the NFL is doing. He's the pioneer of that.
You don't think the whole Jay-Z partnership with the NFL, you don't think that's and I get that that's business. I get that that's business first and foremost. But you don't think in some capacity that's kind of a pandering way towards black people to say, hey, look, we're partnering up with Jay-Z. Looky here. Like you don't think that's in some way? Yeah,
because they could have hired any. Yep. Sure, they could have hired any. They could have hired any. Jay-Z on paper seems qualified for the job. I mean, but that's see the thing. My definition of business is when both sides equally benefit. Whatever you consider equal on both sides.
Yep.
They get that. Mm-hmm. They get that clout of Jay-Z, one of the biggest black influencers in culture and all that. And Jay-Z gets a check and gets the opportunity to sit in rooms and sit at tables where the bullshit is going on. So he can kind of say, hey, well, can we do this? Can we do that? He gets to kind of tinker at the big ass machine. Yeah. And I think, and that's why I'm saying that's why I don't call these Black Lives Matters and decals and all those things. That's why I don't call it pandering, because I do believe that they have a small group of people who may not have the biggest influence, but they are in the machine and they are able to make little tinkers at that machine,
trying to make a difference one step at a time. Trying to make
something right. So I don't call that. I don't call what they're attempting to do pandering. At least not. I call them gestures. Gestures because look, man. Look. And the rabbit hole I didn't want to go down, but here we go. If you was in charge of the fucking free world, would you just randomly just give it up because somebody said, I don't like what you're doing with the free world? Imagine being in fucking racist people's or oppressive people's position. Like, you telling me that I'm running the shit. I'm doing me. I'm doing whatever I want to do, however I want to do it. And because your feelings hurt, I gotta change. I gotta slow up my progress, stop my hustle because you offended. I'm not saying it's ethically right. I'm saying that if you're in that position, it's a little, it's a little different when you're in that position looking down as opposed to when you're in our position looking up. So, I mean, but to get back to the point, yes, for all those that are outraged about Colin Kaepernick, sure, you should be. But the way I see it, he's the sacrificial lamb for some of these gestures that the NFL are trying to put out there to appease us, the black patrons of the NFL. And I think we should give him his flowers for that. If he never plays another snap in the NFL, which he probably won't.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate that, and I don't know if you mentioned George Floyd, but I'll mention George Floyd for you. This sort of, Black Lives Matter on the helmets and Black Lives Matter on the field, on the sideline and stuff, that came after George Floyd. That came after every city in America went straight, protest mode, and in most cities, riot mode. I just wish that Colin Kaepernick was still in the league to kind of say, hey, this is what I was talking about. And we know that this is what he was referring to. This is what he was trying to bring awareness to. It just sucks that he had to lose the livelihood of playing football, to prove that point and be that sacrificial lamb.
Yeah, and yes, but for the George Floyd and the impact that did, the things that the NFL did to try to make us feel better. Yeah. There was the cat in New York selling cigarettes that Colin Kaepernick started this whole shit for. Eric Garner, thank you. That started this kind of resurgence of black people standing up and saying, all right, we had enough of this bullshit. Like, Colin Kaepernick is a pioneer. Like, he's going to go down years now as that cat in the NFL who stood for, oppression, stood for, us getting equal rights. He's going to be the pioneer. Like, there was Jim Brown back in the day. Colin Kaepernick is going to be in that ilk when it's all said and done. So that's why he's never going to get another job in the NFL. Yeah.
In my opinion, he's already there. In my book.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just saying that when our kids are adults, or when they have kids, when Black History Month come around, hopefully we get a little more than a month by then. But the conversations are going, when you talk about sports figures, iconic sports figures, it's going to be Colin Kaepernick. I mean, it's going to be LeBron. It's going to be, but when we're talking about social injustice, social justice is going to be Colin Kaepernick.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Every day is Black History Month in my book. I'll just leave it at that.
J. Cole is going to play for a basketball team in Africa. I didn't
Shout out
catch
to J.
what.
Cole.
Yeah, on the heels of his new album coming out on Friday, which I'm very excited for. But yeah, man, another rapper playing some form of professional basketball. So congrats to him.
No doubt. Kind of makes you think about when Master P, was playing for the Hornets.
I still want the Master P Hornets jersey to come out for NBA fanatics, whoever's in control of making those jerseys. I need the Master P jersey for the Charlotte Hornets. I'll even take the one for the Raptors. I'll even take that one. But I need that jersey. I even want a Ray for Austin jersey, low key. I wonder if I can find one. I even want a Ray for Austin jersey.
Man, I mean, you'd have to do some digging, but
I'm good at digging for clothes.
I'm really good at digging for clothes.
Yeah, I believe it's out there somewhere.
Now, which Ray for Austin jersey you referring to?
I know he's been on so many teams.
Magic, the Rockets.
I think the most successful was him with the Heat, right?
See, I don't remember him all that much with the Heat. Now, did he?
But they was on a team. But I don't recall if he won the chip with the Heat that year in 2006. But but I know that he was in playoff series as a Miami Heat player. So unless that was the case in Houston or Orlando,
I'll give you a debate. I'll give you a debate.
Okay.
I do know that when he was with the Magic in the final run they made that year in 2009, he was the point guard because Jameer Nelson was injured for the rest of that season going into the playoffs. Okay. So he played in the finals
in the finals. Okay,
Lakers.
So maybe it's the Magic. Okay, maybe it's the Magic then.
If I had to choose between the Heat and the Magic, I'd pick the Magic.
All right. Yeah. If he played a finals game in a Magic jersey, then yeah, I'm with you 100%. If that's what you're telling me, 100%.
Yeah, shout out to J. Cole, man. That's big.
Yeah,
that's big. Yeah. And speaking of attire and sports paraphernalia and all that good stuff, so I just saw this on Twitter earlier today. So, the Detroit Pistons and Martin Lawrence have partnered up.
I saw it too.
Have this? You saw the pictures and stuff.
Yeah. My only problem with me purchasing it and wearing it is that it's Pistons gear. I
can understand that. I can understand that. I can understand that. But in general, I think it's dope. I think the artwork is fly. It represents, the Martin show back then. I like the fact that they had, the picture of the kids in front of the building that Martin lived at in Detroit, which is crazy. I saw a picture of somebody post in front of that building when they were just doing a random visit to the city of Detroit. And they were saying how downtown Detroit is just like walking distance from that actual building. So I thought that was pretty dope to learn. And then
I would love to do that, by the way.
Yeah, that's one of my cities. That's one of my cities that I want to go visit one day, Detroit.
I just want to. I just want to take a picture. I'm a Martin.
Of course.
Yeah.
But in respect to like the history of the city and that Martin, that building is a part of that history of that city. Yeah. In my opinion. So I would certainly go in front of that building, take the picture, and then go visit Motown USA and do all the kinds of things like that. But and it's crazy because I think the Ravens actually play in Detroit this coming season. So,
Okay.
and usually I'm looking at schedules like this every other year to kind of get a feel for, where can I go see a Ravens game other than
Right.
home? And
Right.
Detroit is one of those cities where it's like, that's That's an interesting, place that I've always wanted to go visit. So,
Yeah.
Chicago's the other place I want to visit too. I just hope they don't play them in December, because if that's the case, I repeat, I am not going to Chicago in December.
Right. Right.
So,
Right.
but yeah, shout out to the Pistons.
For sure.
doing that, partnership. That's some dope artwork right there on their part.
I'm still trying to find that Wale jersey that they made last year. Last year, they Bleacher Report, they did jerseys for did rapper jerseys with
rappers in their
Detroit
cities,
was
right?
Big Sean, they did Big Sean for Detroit, Dipset for New York.
Didn't Meek Mill do the Philly one?
I believe so. I know they did Outkast. They got the Outkast '94 jersey. But I'm still trying to find that Wale jersey somewhere in my size, rather. I'm still because I can't find it in my size.
Drake, I think too.
Okay, yeah.
I
just know they did
I remember that.
I'm still trying to find that jersey somewhere.
That's dope. That's dope. I didn't want this to go unnoticed. But when we were talking about Tebow playing tight end, I just wanted to give some, a shout out to Jacoby Jones, who has been hired by Morgan State University to become the football team's tight end coach. So shout out to Jacoby Jones
for sure
for getting that position right there.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to him.
And rest in peace, Cole Brennan.
Cole Brennan, yeah. Did we know why he died and what was going on?
I didn't know what was going on with him.
Yeah, I know because he was young. He died at 37. If you're not familiar, Cole Brennan, more notably known for his college career in Hawaii. He was that Hawaii team. They was doing numbers. They were doing numbers with him at quarterback. It didn't quite pan out when he got to the NFL, but he was doing numbers in Hawaii, and I don't know exactly I don't know at all what happened or how he passed, but young man. I saw somebody
37 years old.
Him. 37. Yeah, I saw some people alluding to him having some type of a depression or something like that. I don't know, so I won't speculate. But for certain, rest in peace to Cole Brennan, man. Because certainly a legend in Hawaii. That college.
Yeah, I remember kind of the hype around Cole Brennan as he was coming out of Hawaii and going into the NFL. And I remember the questions about, can Cole Brennan, play in the NFL? Because he always had that little sidearm throw that, that kind of was his signature. And people on TV was like, yo, if he's going to do that, consistently, I'm not sure he's going to be as good. That's what they were saying. But he got drafted by the Redskins, right? If I'm not mistaken.
The Redskins at the time, the Redskins,
right.
yeah.
At the time, the Redskins, yes. So he got.
But he was throwing 50 touchdowns a year in Hawaii, though, bro. I don't want that to go unnoticed. He was throwing 50 touchdowns a year
before the Chiefs became the Chiefs.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I remember the hype around him because of what he did at Hawaii. And again, just to kind of put in perspective, I knew nothing about even that university before I heard. Nobody
did.
Nothing. Not even the academics. Like I heard of nothing about that school before
Cole Brennan put that school on the map.
Yeah, no question about that. But definitely short.
And it seems to be no coincidence that we haven't heard from that school since.
Got it.
Yeah.
No question about that.
Yeah, rest in peace to the legend. To the Hawaii legend, Cole Brennan.
To the Hawaii legend, Cole Brennan. Rest in peace. Let me give us some shout outs. Facebook Live here in the house. We got H-Rap B. We got Jordan Rosario. Got my buddy Patrick Barrett up in here. We got Big Kev 303.
What's happening?
We got Mocha Bella up in here. Shout out to everybody in the Facebook Live joint. Just one comment from Big Kev 3. You know, he's a big Broncos fan. He says the Broncos asked him. He's talking about Tim Tebow. Asked him where he wanted to be traded, whether it was to the Jets or the Jaguars, and at that time he chose the Jets. And I kind of remember that because that was the whole, you know, Mark Sanchez, Tim Tebow, you know, there was that whole little talk about.
Well, I think he was saying that to
Mark Sanchez's job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, but I do remember the hype being, ooh, what if he comes to Jacksonville though?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No question about it. But that was before he got
Do we know why
drafted,
he chose
too.
the Jets over Jacksonville though?
In that trade, I don't know. I honestly don't
if he's
know.
if Kev 303 was saying that he chose the Jets, if he chose the Jets after he was asked by ownership or management, why did he choose the Jets over Jacksonville? Is what I want to know.
I tell you what, there's something to be said about who the current quarterback of a certain football team is, right? And there's always, in my opinion, the notion that a guy can unseat somebody from the quarterback spot. And it appears to me that Tim Tebow believed that he could take Mark Sanchez's job. Now, I don't know who the quarterback was for Jacksonville at the time. I can't imagine it was anybody, you know, that good at that point.
Was it Garrard? Was it Garrard?
Man, that's a good question because Garrard was still there in 2008. And I don't know after that who.
Nah, I don't think it was Garrard that late.
I mean,
because after 2012, I don't think it was Garrard after 2012. I don't think though.
Okay, you're talking about when he got traded to the Jets.
Right. So, but
I don't know who that guy was. So maybe it might have been a guy that Jacksonville just drafted, and maybe they didn't want to part ways from him because they just spent a first round pick on him. Maybe.
But Mark Sanchez was pretty new that in 2012, right?
Mark Sanchez was drafted in 2009, so at that point, when the trade happened, it was his fourth year in. So at that point, the Jets were kind of, because you remember the two trips
they went to the AFC Championship,
once against the Colts, and then once against your Steelers the folling year, and then after that, that's when the downhill for the Jets started to happen. Okay. And then if you remember, and I don't remember if it was that offseason that he got traded or the following offseason, it was a preseason game against the Giants. And Mark Sanchez sat throughout that entire game up until about the fourth quarter, and Rex decided to put him in. And I think off the first or second play of the game that he took the snap, he got hurt, and he was done for like maybe a couple of months after that. Rex got so much criticism. I remember it vividly. Like Rex got so much criticism after making that move. It was a preseason game. It wasn't a regular season game. That was the game where Sanchez came in and he got hurt off the first and second play. So, I think there's something to a guy saying, "Yo, I'm better than this dude. I'm gonna try to take this dude's job." So maybe that's why he chose the Jets.
Maybe.
Yeah. You got anything else, man?
Nah, man. I think we did a good job, a good clean show today, man, outside of the internet lag.
Yeah. Shout out to the fans of Facebook Live, man. Shout out to this show as well, man. Appreciate the support, and we appreciate y'all tuning in. Just a few things before we get up on out of here. Make sure y'all continue to follow us on the Facebook page, where obviously all of our Facebook Live feeds are at. Also, make sure you follow us on the YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe. Also on Instagram at Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. Also, you can find us on Twitter at Barbershop SPOR2. And if you got any questions or comments about the show, just hit us up on the email barbershopsportstalk1@gmail.com. So that's it for the show. If you got nothing else, man, I'm out, B. It's been real.
All right, bro.
Yep. Got a lot to look forward to.